Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. This is episode 1 of your ultimate guide for sourcing for e-commerce, and today I'm going to be covering how you can get in with different brands if you want to sell them either on Amazon or on your own e-commerce platform. Now, a lot of people get here because either they have done online or retail arbitrage, or because they want to open, say, a shoe store and they know that they want this specific brand to be able to sell. Selling branded goods is also how I would recommend everyone who's just starting out in e-commerce to begin. This is because you can guarantee that what you buy is going to be desirable in the future, and you will always be able to sell and recoup at least some of your initial investment if it doesn't go well. That is really important when you start out, because if it's your personal money, chances are you don't have enough of it available to just be able to go on a wing and a prayer and hope that this works without being able to make any of it back. That's why I always advise against going for the route of white labeling, going through the route of making your own products and selling them online, because you have no existing market and no demand until you generate it, and if you're unable to generate it, you are going to be stung quite badly with the products which you are then going to have sat in your garage until, let's be honest, you end up conceding and throwing them in a skip. Now, having said all that, how can you find who the actual manufacturer is? I just briefly want to explain to you what a lot of brands have as their supply chain. A lot of your bigger brands manufacture the product themselves, so they will outsource to various factories in the world and they'll get them made. What they then do is they have distribution partners that they deal with. They do this for a multitude of reasons. My history before I started YouTube, before I started my own business, is that I worked quite high up for a distribution company. The value that a distribution company adds to the manufacturer or the brand is that they provide high volume sales on a regular basis so that the manufacturers can keep their factories turning over. So chances are you're going to be pushed towards a distributor rather than dealing with the brand directly. The good news is that every customer of your size will also be pushed towards these distributors, so you're all competing on a level playing field. A lot of manufacturers will refuse to sell their goods for below what the distributors would be selling them for, even to the biggest brands such as Amazon. They do this so that they can keep their brand value high. The last thing they want is their £100 pair of shoes to now be worth £30 because someone's absolutely decimated the market with pricing. So that's the good news for you. So the next question is, how do I find either the manufacturers, if they do deal direct, which your smaller ones still will do, or more than likely the distributors? And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to check out your product packaging. So assuming this is something that you've sold before, check out your product packaging and you will have contact us information for either the manufacturer or one of their distributors. Alternatively, you can check out Google. So you're going to go onto the manufacturer's direct website, not an offshoot, go into their direct website and look for if you can find something for buy our goods, buy wholesale, or if they've got a section dedicated to retailers. This will usually provide you with an email address which you can then begin to communicate with the manufacturer. You want to format an email to them where you make yourself look professional. Request to be put in contact with the team that deals with this. Don't ask them straight away to set you up for an account, because likely it just gets sent to some administrator's inbox who will either yay or nay to the right person. Most people are lazy at their job and they're not going to action it. Make sure that you put, when you contact the brand, that you'd like to speak with the team who deal with setting up trade accounts. These people's sole job, when you get through to the people who set up trade accounts, is to verify that you offer enough value to that brand to warrant setting up a trade account. This is a lot easier when you're dealing with smaller brands, but it can be done when you're going for the big fish. If you're looking for Nike and you've just started out, good luck to you. You may very well be able to do it, but chances are they're not going to take you on because you do not yet provide any value to their brand. Now, the flip side of this is that once you then get established and you can get with that manufacturer, you will then be at a massive advantage compared to everyone else because you have overcome that first hurdle. So don't be afraid if the first people that you want to contact aren't interested in dealing with you, because you can get them on the next time, possibly the following year, when you've got a proven track history of sales-driven results. Now, there are a few things that you need to be aware of and things that you can expect so that you increase your chance of being able to get in with the brand or the manufacturer that you want to sell. Number one, the feasibility. If you sell primarily or solely on Amazon, it will be harder for you to justify to a brand why you bring enough value for them to be able to set you up with a trade account, because other sellers will already likely be doing it. Some ways that you can differentiate yourself are to have a limited company. This is specific to the UK. I believe it's known as an LLC over in the US. This provides them a level of reassurance to know that you are a company that's committed to running a successful e-commerce business and will also help protect their brand with them. Another thing a lot of them look out for is to be VAT registered. Again, this is a UK only thing. If you hit a turnover of above, I believe it's £83,000, you have to register for VAT in the UK. However, you can voluntarily do this beforehand. There are loads of advantages to not being VAT registered, and there are loads to being VAT registered. I'll have to cover that on another video, but make sure you do your research before you jump in. But it may be beneficial if you're looking to get in with a brand to get VAT registered beforehand. Now, all of this slightly differs if you're starting your own website, because you are effectively offering them another sales channel for the products that they already want to sell. If you have a website that's successful, brands will be itching to be able to get on board with you. That's why it's really important, if you have success with Amazon, to then start to parlay that across to your own e-commerce platform, because it helps grow your business and build a better foundation. But that's something that I'll cover in another video as well. The second thing you need to be aware of is what is the expected price range for what I'm doing. Now, we deal with a lot of brands, and for the brand, generally our first orders vary from £300-400 from your smaller either distributors or direct brand sellers, to up to £2,000-3,000 minimum first orders. Usually once you put in that first order, you can then reduce your order size down to either a couple of £100 or around £1,000 if you're buying direct from the manufacturer. Now, this is not a problem if you run a regular business such as ourselves, but if you're just starting out and you're using your own personal money, you might find that actually selling branded products is too high, and I need to continue doing online or retail arbitrage until I'm in a position to be able to afford these minimum orders. Something else that you may find is that there is a minimum order value and also a minimum order quantity. So it may be that yes, you've spent the amount, but actually you need to buy more than what you initially wanted. A lot of manufacturers will only sell their products in what's known as a box quantity. This obviously varies depending on the product. It could be 3 pieces, it could be 1,000 pieces. You'll have to ask them. But it means that you're going to have either a lot of stock or only a little bit of stock, and you need to know that beforehand before you're willing to be able to put your first order in. This is something that you can ask the manufacturer when you first start to speak to them. Say, what is your line minimum? What is your minimum order quantities? And they'll be able to give you all this information so you can make an informed decision. The third thing to look out for are payment terms. Now, this is where a lot of you are going to get stung. A lot of businesses and brands will sell to you on pro forma terms, which means that you prepay for all your goods and you wait for them to ship it to you. This is quite a dangerous thing when you're looking to buy, especially international and importing. However, because you're dealing with legitimate brands and you've gone directly to their website like I advised, this is not something you have to worry about. You're not going to get stung by them for the products, except in the most rare and extreme circumstances. With Proforma, sometimes you can pay on credit card, which gives you 30 days to pay it off and helps with your cash flow, but a lot of them will not accept credit cards because they get stung with the credit card fees, and all they accept is a BACS transfer, which effectively means that you transfer the money from your bank account to theirs. This stings a lot when you first start out, and it really ruins your cash flow. However, don't worry. Once you put in 2 to 3 orders with most manufacturers or distributors, they will then move you onto a net terms account. You can get net 30 or net 60. They're the exact same thing. The only difference is that net 30 you have 30 days to pay, whereas net 60 you have 60 days. You'll still have a credit limit. It's going to be low. You're going to exceed it and have to pay it off before then, but it gives you a little bit of breathing room so that you can receive your products in and start to sell some of them before you then owe the money to pay for the goods. Just a little bit of advice, the way that net terms usually work, although confirm it with whoever you're buying from, is that you get 30 or 60 days from the end of that invoicing month. So if you buy something on the 26th of February, on the 28th, that'll be the cut-off point, and then you've got 30 days from the 28th to pay the invoice. Conversely, if you order on the 1st of February, it only starts on the 28th, so you can effectively get an extra 4 weeks out of your net 30 terms for all orders done as early as possible during the monthly billing cycle. That's just a little tip to help improve your cash flow if you can forecast what orders you're going to be placing. And number 4, last but not least, Incoterms. Incoterms are shipping terms. They're something that sounds really complicated, but they're absolutely not. You don't have to worry about them. You just need to make sure that you do your research. A lot of brands, when you deal directly with them, their Incoterms will be what is known as DUP, which is delivered and unloaded at the place. So that is perfect news for you. That means that they're going to, within their quote, get everything put on a pallet or in boxes, ship it to you, and it's then their responsibility to get it off the truck and into your warehouse, garage, house. This is really helpful for you because it means that you don't need a pallet jack, it means that you don't have to deal with shipping agents, it means that you don't have to deal with import fees. This is why buying from a brand is massively beneficial, because they are likely to have a distribution partner within your country if they're not located there themselves. Just be aware that this varies by industry. I worked in aerospace before, and in aerospace it was the complete opposite as an industry norm compared to what retail and e-commerce are. The Incoterms that were offered to everyone are Ex Works, which means that it is only their responsibility to put your products in a box and wait for the carrier, which you arrange, to go and pick the product up. That means that you pay for all of the shipping and you bear all of the insurance risks from getting it from them to yourself. It's something to bear in mind and make sure that you double check with whoever you're buying from. When you sign up for a trade account, they will send you a contract to sign. Read through your contract and make sure you know what the shipping Incoterms are, what the payment terms are there any late delivery fees, when do I need to make them aware of when there's an issue. This goes with all of business, but especially when you're dealing with a brand, because they could not care less if you never do business with them again when you're first starting out. Bear that in mind, they have the leverage, it's on you to do your research with the paperwork that they provide. Now, all this being said, I'm going to give a little bit of my personal story to help you out. When I first started, I signed up with a very major brand in e-commerce in the October when I started out in the April, so it really wasn't a long period of time. And I was VAT registered because I had to be VAT registered because I'd hit above the threshold. However, I was not a limited company. I was what is known in the UK as a sole proprietor. That is how a lot of you will probably start up your businesses if it's just a one-man band and you're first starting out. This is just to show you, and you'll all have heard of this brand, but it's to show that you can get started when you're not fully legitimate. You just need to approach and bring yourself across as a professional, experienced business person. I was fortunate that I had that experience beforehand and I could speak the language of distributors and manufacturers. Just make sure that when you're communicating, again, be professional. It really helps to legitimize yourself with the salespeople you're communicating with. Those of you who watched my previous video on retail and online arbitrage will remember that when I went on to Smith's Toys, there was a Godzilla themed toy which was actually manufactured by Jakks Pacific. Before I started this video, I reached out to them because I wanted to show you how I can source direct from a brand and find all the details. I went onto Jakks' website and I went to the Contact Us page. It was just a generic Contact Us. I sent an email saying, I'm interested in stocking your brand. I'd really like to be able to speak with your trade team to find out who the best people are, or if you've got any distribution partners which you would advise. I then got an email back from one of the managing directors of the UK-based branch for Jakks Pacific, who advised me to go to one of their distributors, which is where they push all independent sellers. I then reached out to them and they are known as Zappies Limited. Zappies were then helpful and able to provide me with direct distributor pricing, which is exclusive in the UK for Jakks Pacific. You can sign up to them yourself, go check out their website. They're very Amazon focused, which is perfect for all of you Amazon sellers. But that was how I managed to get in the door. So I went through the website, sent an email, got a response, and then chased up with the distribution partner that they recommended, and I set up a trade account with them. All in all, from start to finish, it took me around a week. If you do not get a response from the manufacturer in their first week, pick up the phone. I know it's dreadful, I hate talking on the phone as well, but give them a call and chase them, and that is how you're going to get in with brands who are more resistant. Now, one more bit of advice for you. When you are Googling to find out who you're going to buy from, never put such and such wholesaler. You need to search for a distributor, but primarily get that information through direct from the manufacturer. The reason why I always advise against going to wholesalers, if you can avoid it, is because wholesalers are not part of the brand's distribution system usually. This means that you will be paying the prices to have one more step up the supply chain. So you will not be price competitive on that product. That's why you need to make sure that you are going direct to the brands and getting their list of authorised distributors. They may very well say for the amount you're looking to spend you need to go to this wholesaler. That's fine, at least you know that this is the legitimate channel that you're buying from. The internet is absolutely awash with different people who call themselves wholesalers when all they are doing is they're buying in bulk from the distributors who you could be buying from and then they are selling at a marked up price compared to what you should be paying. And that's about it for this episode, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, leave them below. I've been more than happy to help you all. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, especially if you're looking to start your own e-commerce business or grow it. Have a great day, everyone.